Right. I said that I've had a few ideas for discussions to put on my YouTube channel, and what one discussion that I've had the idea for is, was that the universe created? Well, I'd have to do a bit of research before I, you know what I mean. But I actually didn't record it. But I could do a sort of prequel to discussion to it, which is, well, but God had to have been created for him to exist. Well, I don't know if you ever seen any of TV programs that Richard Dawkins does. He's a scientist, a famous scientist who's an atheist. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he's a scientist who's an atheist, and he said that the universe and everything in it couldn't have been created, because if it had been, you only bring up the even bigger question of who created the creator. Well, one answer to that is that is he wrong? Is it possible for a creator to exist that haven't been created? Well, but we have to think that God is something completely different from our physical universe. It's a spiritual being. Is something that's unfathomable to the human mind. It's something that's very difficult to understand. And as a spiritual being wouldn't necessarily need to have been created, whereas the physical universe must have had a beginning, and scientists actually recognise that it did have a beginning, but they say it was just sort of accidental, really. They say it was just that the Big Bang caused it to come into existence. It wasn't really, you know what I mean? They don't think it was created. A lot of them don't think it was created, but you know what I mean? In order to before we can answer the question of what was life created, we need to answer the question of a question: would the creator have to? Could a creator exist without having been created? And the answer is yes, he could, because spiritual beings are not the same as physical beings. You know what I mean? Something spiritual isn't the same as something physical. In fact, somebody asked me once, how can something spiritual create something physical? But again, that's completely unfathomable to the human mind. But it doesn't necessarily mean to say it couldn't have happened. Just because something's unfathomable, whatever the word is, to the human mind, doesn't mean it's impossible. In fact, really, this Richard Dawkins, he's a very sceptical sort of person. But that's my answer to the question: could a creator exist without having been created? And the answer is yes. He could. You know what I mean? He didn't need to have been created. He was just there from the very beginning. And that's why we're all here today, because he's created everything. That's as simple as that. You don't know the question doesn't need to be brought up as to who created him, because he's not a physical being. He's a spiritual being, and that's a simple answer to it, to that objection against the being of God. There's a very simple answer to it. Anyway, I'll follow him on from this discussion with a discussion on what was the universe? What evidence is there that the universe was created? Anyway, bye for now.